Business and technology. Until now, we have covered chapter 1 to 8. 8 chapters we have covered. So in previous 3 chapters, we have covered some external factors that affect the business either positively or negatively. Those factors were 6 pastel factors. And political and legal we have covered in chapter 6. Economic factors we have covered in chapter 7. Social, technological, ecological factors we have covered in chapter 8. Now moving towards chapter 9, and the name of chapter 9 is competitive factors. What does that mean? Competitive factors. What is the difference between farm and industry? Is there any difference between farm and industry, or both are same thing?
No,
Here's the difference. What's the difference?
differences from it's like a small farming, small and like a thing.
What does that mean?
Farm content is specifically working on something specific
Farm mean business,
business farm.
mean individual organization.
Indeed.
That is called farm. A group of different farms, market of different businesses is called industry, or a market of similar businesses is called industry. Like if there is any electronic business, that is a farm. The market of different electronics businesses will be called industry. This means a business operate in an industry. A business operate in an industry, and while operating in an industry, business is affected by some factors that are relating to industry. And there are some factors in the industry that affect the business either positively or negatively. Those factors in the industry affect the business positively will be called business opportunities. Opportunities. And those factors that affect the business negatively will be called threats. So we should identify our opportunities so that we must capture them, because that will help in achieving our business objective. And we should also be aware about threats so that we can avoid them. Because if we don't avoid them, they will create problems for us in achieving business objective. So to identify opportunity threats, we need to see some factors outside the business, mean in the industry. How we can find factors relating to industry? We can find factors relating to industry by applying a model called Porter 5 forces model. Porter's 5 forces model. According to Michael Porter, what's the complete name of Porter? Michael Porter, not Harry Potter. According to Michael Porter. While operating business, we need to analyze the environment. Because in environment means industry, market, there are some factors that affect the business, mean we should be aware of those factors. So according to Michael Porter, when you are going to analyze environment, so this means you are going to analyze industry. Mean environment mean industry. Industry mean when you are going to analyze industry mean competition. Mean you need to analyze competition. So environment is equal to industry. Industry is equal to competition. And competition, who provide you competition? Who provide you competition? Competitors. So to analyze environment, mean to analyze industry. Industry mean competition, and competition mean you need to analyze your competitors, what they are doing. Whether there are so many competitors, there will be more competition, mean threat for the business. If there are fewer competitors, there will be less competition, mean opportunity for the business, because business can deal with less competitor rather than more. If competitor business size is large as compared to you, can you deal the competitor easily? No. If their business size is large, they are producing goods on large scale, they are achieving more economies of scale, mean cost cutting. You will not be able to compete them on lower prices, because your cost is high, so you have to charge a high price. Their cost is low, they can charge lower price to attract the customers. So environment mean industry, industry mean competition, competition mean competitors. But according to Porter, not only competitor provide competition to the business, there are some other forces who provide competition to the business. And when you are going to analyze competition in the industry, you should focus on 5 different forces, mean 4 other forces along with the competition. Into business, who provide competition? Not only competitor. There are 4 other forces that provide competition to the business. What are the other forces? Competition is also provided by your supplier. In your supplier also provide you competition. Your customer also provide you competition. The business who are producing similar product of your business are your competitor. And the business who are producing substitute of your product will be called substitute business. So competition you have to face from substitutes as well. Substitutes. Competition is also provided by new entrants. Mean new investors. When you are going to analyze environment, this means to analyze industry. And when you are going to analyze industry, this means you need to analyze competition. And while analyzing competition, you should not only see the competition from competitor, you have to see the competition from 5 forces: competitor, supplier, customer, substitute, and new entrants. What is meant by competition? What is meant by competition? What is meant by competition? Fear of losing customers. Fear of losing customers. If there are more competitors, there will be more fear to lose customer. If there are few competitors, competition is low, there will be less fear of losing customers. If your competitor business size is large, there is more competition. If your competitor business size is small as compared to you, there will be no or less competition, because you can compete them on lower prices. But competition also provided you by your supplier as well. Supplier who is providing you product to give to customer. Yeah, who is providing raw material for manufacturing your products. Competition from supplier will be high if there is no alternative to customer products. If there are fewer supplier in the market. This means if there is no alternative to supplier product, if he increase the price, the product he is providing to you, this will affect your customer. How? You need to increase price of your product, and if you increase price, demand will be lower, your customer will be losing. So fear of losing customer is also provided by the supplier when his bargaining power is strong. When supplier bargaining power is strong, when his product is unique, You have no alternative to his product, or there are a few suppliers in the market. This means you have to face competition from the supplier. Because if he stop delivering goods to you, or he increases the prices of his product that he is delivering to you, your customer will lose. Competition is also provided by your customer, especially major customer. How? If he switch his supplier, mean going to buy products not from you, your competitor, this means your major customer is losing. So competition is also provided by your customer as well. Fear of losing customer. When you are not providing goods according to his wishes, when your product is not a unique product, he is having other options in the market, there is always high fear of losing customer from customer point of view. When your product is unique, is differentiated, like you are selling iPhone, whether customer is having any other option? No. This means there is no competition from the customer. They have to buy your product because nobody else is producing mobile phone with iOS software. Customer cannot switch it to other suppliers. So there is no competition from customer. But if your product is not unique, not differentiated, mean undifferentiated, you will always facing competition from the customer. Competition is also provided by the substitute. Substitute means the other businesses who are producing goods of your alternative. Suppose your name is McDonald, but you are producing burger. Hardee's, Fat Burger, KFC, who are they? They are your competitors. What about Pizza Hut, Domino? Who are they? They produce pizzas. He produce substitute. Like if a customer want to eat fast food, he's having option either he can eat burger or he can switch towards pizza. You know, he's hungry. And he is having option, okay, sure, today I should go for eat fast food. If they're going for fast food, they're having options. Either they can eat burger or they can eat pizza. So Pizza Hut, Domino, who are they? They are substitutes. Competition is also from them as well. Because if they introduce any new flavor of pizza, your customer will be losing, shifting towards those. If they introduce any new deal, buy one pizza, get three free. Will there anybody will want your burger? No. People will be moving to them as well. So you are not facing competition from your competitor only. You are facing competition from substitute businesses as well. Competition is also provided by new entrants, mean new investors who is holding their money in the hand to make investment in any industry. And if they make investment in your industry, obviously the new business will try to introduce something new. So at start, customer today something new will move to there. So your customer will lose due to these as well. And if you are operating in an industry that is attractive means where profitability are high, always new investor try to invest in attractive industry. There is always new entrance threat high. Mean you have to face competition not only from the existing competitor, the prospective competitors mean new investor will also provide you competition. Fear of losing. This means when you are analyzing industry factor, this means you are analyzing competition in the industry. So you have to analyze factors from these five forces point of view, not only competitor. You have to see whether supplier competition is high or low. customer competition is strong or weak, substitute competition is strong or weak, and new entrants competition is strong or weak. Meanwhile, applying Porter 5 forces model, you have to consider competition from 5 forces. What are the 5 forces? Threat of new entrants, threat of substitute, bargaining power of customer, buyer mean customer, bargaining power of seller, seller mean supplier. And competition from competitor will be called competitive rivalry. Rivalry mean competition. Threat of new entrants will be high. Threat of new entrants will be high if you are operating in an attractive industry. If you are operating in an attractive industry means the industry where profitability is high, the industry that is in growth stage. Growth stage means new customers are coming to the industry. So all the new investors will try to make their investment in an attractive industry. And if you are operating in that industry, threat of new entrants will always be. Threat of new entrants will be low if to enter in your industry, new investors have to bear some barrier to entry. In your industry, there are some barrier to entry, mean difficulties to enter in the industry, then threat of new entrants will be low. What could be the barrier to entry? High investment. If supposed to start a business in your industry require huge investment. The more the investment, the larger will be the investment risk. If there is a high investment risk, due to high investment, the new investor will hesitate to make investment in your industry. This means this will act as a barrier. What could be the barrier to entry? Law and regulations. If in your industry to operate a business require compliance with so many laws, regulations, so new investor will hesitate to enter in your industry. This means threat of new entrants will be low. What could be the barrier to entry? Technical know-how. Technical know-how means specialist skills. If you're in your industry, to perform a business, it requires a specialist skills, experience. And to acquire that skill experience is not an easy task. Suppose we are doing a business of audit firm. Who can run audit firm? Auditors. Auditors. Who are auditors? A qualified chartered accountant. How they become chartered accountant? After passing so many papers, like to become ACCA, we need to pass 13 papers and then we need to complete 3 years work experience. I mean, after 5 years, we will become ACCA member and we will be able to open audit firm. Can an investor with money only enter in your industry? He can open audit firm business? No. So this will create barrier to entry, mean threat of new entrants will be lower. What could be the other barrier to entry? Patents. Copyright. If you have a patent or copyrights like this type of business without any copyright license, nobody can perform. So can a new investor will affect you? No, this will act as a barrier to entry. What could be the other barrier to entry? Economies of scale. What is meant by economies of scale? Can we start a new fast food business with the aim of competing McDonald's? Can we compete McDonald's? No. Why? because their production scale is too large. And through large scale production, they are achieving economies of scale, mean cost cutting. So we cannot compete them on prices because we cannot be able to produce at that much large scale. So this means our cost will be higher than McDonald's. So we will not be able to compete them on prices. If you are operating your business at a very large scale, mean achieving economies of scale, this means a new investor cannot affect you. This will act as barrier to entry, mean this will stop the new investor to enter in your industry. This means threat of new entrants will be lower. So threat of new entrants will be lower if there are barrier to entry. And threat of new entrants will be higher if there are no barrier to entry. Mean no heavy investment required, no law regulation compliance is required, no technical know-how is required. There is no issue of copyrights, patents in your industry, and nobody is achieving economies of scale. This means any new investor can enter in your industry and share your or attract your customer, will provide you competition. You're not facing competition from current competitors. You are facing competition from new investor, new entrants as well. If you are operating in attractive industry means where there are no barrier to entry. There are barrier to entry, that industry is not attractive for the new investors. You are facing competition from substitute as well. When your product substitute are available in the market, always threat of substitute will be high. Because if substitute business will introduce something new or change price of their product, your customer will shift to them. You will be facing competition from substitute as well. If your product substitutes are not available, there is no threat from substitute. Microsoft Windows. Is there any substitute that is that much user friendly as Microsoft Windows? So threat of substitute will be lower. No. A threat of substitute will be lower if your product are having substitute. But to move on substitute, customer have to bear switching cost. The customer have to bear some extra cost to move towards substitute. If he has to bear switching cost to move towards substitute, threat of substitute will be lower. In fact, substitutes are there. Is that fine? Bargaining power of supplier will be high. If we are having a few suppliers, this means we are having no more options. Whatever the price supplier will charge, we have to accept that. If he will increase price, he can affect our business. If we are having no alternative to his product, we are having no alternative to his product, this means we have to buy from him. If he will increase price, if he will delay supplies, our business will be affected due to bargaining power supplier. Bargaining power of supplier will be lower, mean there will be no threat from supplier. When we are having many suppliers in the industry, if one will not supply, we will move towards other. If their product is not important from us, mean we are having alternative to his product. If he will charge high price, we will move towards alternative. Bargaining power of customer will be high. Higher mean customer will be high if our product is undifferentiated. Undifferentiated mean customer can easily buy this type of product in the market from other sellers. This means bargaining power of customer is high. Whatever the price he will ask, we have to provide him on that price. Whenever he will ask delivery, we have to abide by his rules. We cannot impose our prices. We cannot impose our policies on customer because our product is not differentiated, mean not unique. He's having options available. So bargaining power of customer will be high. No, bargaining power of customer will be low when our product is differentiated, mean unique. He's having no other option in the market. We are selling iPhone. He cannot buy iOS software in any other phone in the market. So we can charge high prices. Even if we don't make major changes in the next model, customer will buy whatever the price we set because his bargaining power is low. He's having no option in the market. Competitive rivalry competition from competitor will be high if there are more competitors. No, competitive rivalry means competition from competitors will be low if there are few competitors. Competitive rivalry will be high if our product is undifferentiated. Mean other businesses is also selling the same product. This means the price, if they low, our customer will be shifted to them. But if our product is differentiated, whether they low price, our customer will retain with us, will not move to them. So competitive rivalry will be lower.
Like Android phones.
Like Android phones. Android making phones all are having high competition because their product is not differentiated. But iPhone as compared to Android is differentiated. So there is no competition, despite there are some other competitors who are producing mobiles. But as you are providing iOS software, they are providing Android. So your product is differentiated in different than competitors. Competitive rivalry will be high if there is a slow growth in industry. Slow growth in industry means no new customers are coming to the industry. So every business want to attract the existing customer to that towards them by heavy marketing through discount offers. So in that situation, competition from competitors will always be up. If your industry is in high growth, this means new customers are coming to the industry. Everybody is attracting their market share. There is low competition. But competition will be high when there is slow growth in the industry. So while operating in an industry, we need to analyze some factors in the industry because these factors either positively affect the business or negatively affect the business. Positive means they create opportunity, negative means they create threat.
Threats.
What are the factors? Threat of new entrants, threat of substitutes, bargaining power of supplier, bargaining power of customer, and competitive rivalry mean competition from competitor. So let's move forward. These are the barrier to entry that we have discussed. The other things we have already discussed. There is no thing to read. Now moving towards one more model called Porter generic strategies. Generic means general. To protect our customer from competitor or to deal with competition, a business normally adopt three of the general strategies. Porter generic strategies mean general strategies that a business adopt to attract a customer, to attract customer from competitors. How you can attract customers from competitor by adopting three general strategies. What are three general strategies? Cost leadership, differentiation, niche marketing, NICHE. niche marketing. That is also called focused strategy. In how a business can deal with competition, how a business can attract a customer as compared to competitor by adopting one of these three general strategies: cost leadership, differentiation, or focused. What is cost leadership? You are going to attract the customer. How? By providing the same quality of competitor but at a lower price. How you can charge lower price? Through cost cutting. You are going to focus on cost cutting in your operations, in your production methods, so that you can offer lower price as compared to competitor and attract the customer. How cost can be cut without compromising quality? How cost can be cut without compromising quality? If you move towards large scale production, you will be achieving economies of scale. Your per unit cost will be lower because now you are ordering to supplier in bulk. If you order in bulk, supplier will be willing to provide more discounts that will help you in cost cutting. Or you can reduce cost by lowering the packaging cost. So you can reduce your cost. So what's the cost leadership? Business is focusing on a lowest cost in production so that he can offer lower price as compared to competitor and attract lux. What's the other strategy? Differentiation. Differentiation means make your product a little bit different than competitor by providing some extra features, extra benefit in your product that the competitor product is not having. And to provide more feature, it requires more cost. When your profit margin will be a little bit lower, but the sale volume will increase your profit automatically. So different mean provide a product a little bit unique as compared to competitor product and offer at the same price of competitor. Through this, you will be able to attract the customer towards your business. Product differentiation. Do something different than competitor to attract the customer. Either customer can be attracted through cost leadership, mean lowest cost and offering lower prices, are differentiated, charging same price as compared to competitor product, but with a little bit extra features. Our business can attract the customers through niche marketing or focused, mean business can deal with the competition through niche marketing or focus. What is mean by niche marketing? To target a particular segment of the market. To target a particular segment of the market. Particular segment of market mean particular type of customer. In competition, no business is providing either high quality or very low price. In competitive market, businesses are producing medium quality and they are charging medium price. What is this niche marketing? You have focused on a particular type of customer. Which type of customer? Who is price conscious, who is buying product just checking at the price, he is not considering at the cost, not focusing on the quality, he is just focusing on the price only. So what you are doing, you are producing your goods at very lowest cost without considering the quality so that you can offer the lowest price in the market to attract the price conscious customer. That will be called cost focused. Mean you have focused a particular customer. Which customer? Low income customer who is buying product by looking at the price only. He is not looking at the quality. If customer is not looking at the quality, what you will do? You will not look at the quality and produce the goods at very lowest cost. so that you can offer the lowest price in the market and attract those customers, meet the need of those customers. Competition set aside, you have target a particular type of customer in the market. Or that focused could be quality focused. You have target a particular type of customer. Who's that customer? High income customer who want luxuries. And what you are doing, you are producing goods at very high quality. And if there is no alternative to those products in the market, you will be charging high prices for that, and customer will be willing to pay because you have target a large income customer, high income customer. So focus could be either of two types, either cost focused or quality focused. You have target a particular type of customer. Have you heard about Aston Martin? It's a British car manufacturing company who are producing Formula One racing cars. There are some other car companies as well, like there is a Toyota company as well. There is a Nissan as well. There is a Honda as well. But Nissan, Toyota, Honda, they are operating in competitive market. They have not focused a particular type of customer. They are focused on generic market. Aston Martin has a focused a particular type of customer who need racing cars. And there are very few companies in the world who are producing racing cars. And if any person want a racing car, he will not go towards Toyota, Nissan, or Honda. He will move towards Aston Martin. And Aston Martin, if it charge billion, trillion dollars, he will be willing to pay. Because he has focused on a particular type of customer. So a business can compete with competitors by adopting any three general strategy. Cost leadership, focusing on cost cutting so that he can charge lower price as compared to competitor. He will provide the same quality of competitor, but at lower price to attract the customer. And differentiated, the business is charging the same price of competitor product, but providing a little bit extra quality, extra enhanced feature of his product to attract the customer. Or niche marketing means set aside the competition. You have a focus particular type of customer, a particular segment of customer, either low income customer, cost focused, or high income customer, quality focused. Porter generic strategy. This model examines the different ways that an organization can achieve a competitive advantage in its market. Competitive advantage means more customer as compared to competitors. Porter argued that business could adopt one of three strategies: cost leadership, differentiation, or focused. What is cost leadership? This involves the business making a product at similar quality of its competitor, but at lowest cost. This is normally achieved through internal efficiencies, large scale production. Instead of labor intensive, you have moved towards machine intensive. Cost leadership will usually allow the organization to sell its product at lowest price as compared to rival and increase its sales, or sell its product at the same price as its rival and making more profit than competitor. Classical example, Casio Electronics Limited follow a cost leadership approach and has sold over 1 billion pocket calculator. The small calculator Casio have produced, that is low price. Differentiation. This strategy involves persuading customer that our product is superior to that of our rivals with some different features, extra features. It can be done by adding additional features to product or by altering customer perception of the product through advertising or branding. Differentiation, do something different than competitor, like you can focus on more marketing, heavy marketing. Like you have make Ronaldo as your brand ambassador. Obviously, you are paying high money to Ronaldo, but through this, you are attracting so many customers because all the followers of Ronaldo want to become like Ronaldo. And if anything is used by Ronaldo in the advertisement, every fan try that product. So you can attract a customer by doing something different than competitor. It could be enhanced features or could be heavy marketing. So differentiation will usually allow the business to charge a premium price for its product. Even you will charge a little bit higher price than competitor, customer will be willing to pay. For example, British Airways, a multinational airline, is providing good services. And for that services, they are charging even a little bit higher than competitor, but customer are preferring to travel through British Airways. What is focus? Our niche marketing. This involves aiming at a segment of the market rather than the market as a whole. A particular group of consumer is identified with the same needs and business will provide product or service that are tailored to their needs, either low income customer or high income customer who want luxuries. This tailored approach will typically allow the business to charge a premium for their product. If you are focused on high income customer providing luxuries, you can charge even a high price. Customer is having enough money, he can pay. So Porter argued that business need to adopt one of the above three approaches or they would stuck in a middle. If you not adopt any of these strategy, you will not be able to compete with the competitors and your business will fail. You have to adopt one of the three generic strategies. In fact, these are not three, these are four. Cost focus and quality focused. Okay, let's move forward. What we have covered today, we have covered two models, Porter's five forces model and Porter generic strategies. Okay, let's discuss something. We have covered external analysis. I mean, there are some factors outside the business that affect the business either positively or negatively. If they are affecting business positively, they will be called opportunities. Help the business in achieving its objective. If they are affecting the business negatively, they will be called threat. I mean, prevents the business in achieving its objective. How we can identify or analyze those factors? We can identify or analyze those factors through pastel model. Through Porter five forces model. Through pastel, we can perform macro analysis. Country-wise factor rather than just focusing on your industry. While through Porter five forces, we can perform industry analysis. That is not macro, that is micro. This will provide us factors relating to your industry only rather than beyond industry. In threat of new entrants in your industry rather than in country. Substitute of your industry product, competitor in your industry, supplier in your industry, customer relating to your industry rather than other industries. While in pastor, we are focusing on political factor that will be applied on whole country, economic factor relating to whole economy, social relating to whole country, technological in the country, ecological relating to country, and law regulation relating to country. So through pastel five forces, we can identify what? Opportunities and threats. And to run a business successfully, we have to look at opportunities as well as threats. Because if we are not identifying our opportunities, this means we are not capturing. If we are not capturing, we cannot grow our business. We are running business in our limit. And we have to be aware of threats as well, because if we are not aware of threats, any of the threat will damage our business. So we should be aware of them, and so that we can plan how to avoid them. If government making any policies that are in favor of our business, I mean, he is reducing taxation, he is increasing budget of infrastructure, education, health, that will be opportunity. If government policies are against us, like he is imposing more tax on our business, he is not investing in infrastructure, education, health, that will be threat. If economic factor are positive, like interest rate is low, inflation rate is low, national income is increasing, when economy is in growth, that will be opportunity. If people attitude, social values, norms, behavior are of our business product type, that will be opportunity. If technology is available in the country where we are operating, that will be opportunity. If we are not focusing on pollution, recycling, reproduction of resources, is that opportunity or threat? Threat. If there are more laws defined by the government relating to our business, like minimum wage rate has increased, environmental laws has increased, for data protection, we need to follow more policies, for health and safety, we need to follow more policies, that will be threat for this. And Porter five forces, if five forces are high, there will be threat. If five forces are low, there will be opportunities. Not only we have to identify opportunities and threats, we have to identify our strengths and weaknesses as well. And to identify strengths and weaknesses, we have to perform internal analysis. Because through external analysis, we can identify opportunity threats. But we should be aware of our strengths and weaknesses as well. How we can identify strengths and weaknesses? By internal analysis. We have to look at factor inside the business. How we can perform internal analysis? There is another model called Porter's value chain model. Through this, we can identify strengths and weaknesses. So what is Porter value chain model? That's me. Porter's value chain. Value chain means internal business processes. Internal business processes. According to Porter, value chain means activities of the business, operations of the business. And according to Porter, there are different types of activities in a business. There are 5 primary activities in the business, and there are 4 secondary or support activities in a business. And when you are going to identify strength weaknesses, you are going to perform internal analysis. You have to analyze these 5 primary activities and 4 secondary or support activities. Primary activities mean your main activities, your core activities on which your business survival is based, your main work. That is primary, core, or main activities through which you are generating a profit mainly. While support or secondary activities are separate activities that provide support to your main primary activities. That is not your main work, but you have to do that as well to provide support to your main primary activities. So Porter value chain says, while performing internal analysis, mean to identify strengths, weaknesses, you have to analyze your 5 primary activities and 4 secondary or support activities. What are the primary activities? Inbound logistic, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales, and services. These are your main activities. What are the secondary or support activities? Infrastructure, human resource, technology, human resource, and procurement. Let's discuss these support activities first, then we will move towards primary activities. Procurement means purchase department. What his role? Buy asset or inventory for the business. How they can perform their function properly or strongly? If they are buying inventory or asset by obtaining quotation from the supplier. Mean checking whose supplier is providing high quality at lowest price and making order to them. If they are buying anything without a quotation, this means there is a weakness because they are missing high quality, lower price. How they can benefit the business? If they are having a secure supplies, mean creating good relationship with the supplier. Like in case of need, he will be willing to provide you even on credit, especially in bad times. They are not creating good relation. They are not securing the supplies. They are not performing well. There is a weakness in this procurement department. What is human resource? HR department. What is their function? Employee management. What is employee management? Appointment of employees, training of employees, and motivation of employees. If they are appointing good people on merit by assessing their skills properly, there will be strength. If they are not assessing skills properly, they are not appointing on merit, there will be weakness. If they are properly training the employees, mean developing their skills, there will be strength. If they are not developing skills, not providing training, there will be weakness. If they are keeping employees motivated, how employees can be motivated? Through rewards. Some employees want money reward. Some employees want non-monetary reward like promotion, status, authority, power. So you have to focus what kind of reward employees want. And you have to provide that reward. If you are not providing that reward, there will be no motivation towards work. Who need to identify employee needs, rewards? This HR department. They have to negotiate with them. What kind of reward you want? So that they should provide and keep them motivated. Lower level laborers want more wages, salaries. They don't want power, authority, ranks. Well, managers want power, authority, ranks, promotion because they know along with promotion, authority, rank, money will automatically come. They're not asking for money. What is technology department mean? IT department. If they are performing well, mean making high research and development, mean helping the business in innovation, trying to find out new ways of production, trying to find out new products. This means they are strength for the business. If they are not developing new products, they are not helping the business in innovation, they are not finding new ways of doing things, there will be weakness because these IT professionals are idiots. Differ. Infrastructure mean organization structure, either formal or informal. It depends. If you are producing goods manufacturing organization, you can run formal structure. If you are service business operating in complex dynamic environment, your structure should be informal. So this relate to how the firm is organized, centralized buying, decentralized, or decentralized. Centralized decision making or decentralized. Depends upon different type of business. But these are the support activities that provide support to our main primary activities. What are the primary activities? Inbound logistic, operations, outbound logistic, marketing and sales, and services. Inbound logistic mean how inputs are handled. How inputs are handled. Mean the way of receiving raw material, storage, and handling of raw material. There could be strength or weaknesses. Suppose business is buying raw material from supplier, and after buying, they are storing into a storage house before putting into production. Is there any weakness? Yes. If they are storing before putting into production, they are bearing holding cost, storage cost. Yeah. That is affecting profit of the business. Business can save this cost by adopting just-in-time policy. What is just-in-time? When you required production raw material, you have to buy from the supplier on that time so that you can avoid holding or storage cost. For that, they have to deal with the supplier. You have to provide us on emergency basis. Who will buy from you, not from other supplier? But whenever we require, you have to deliver us quickly. And who will deal with the supplier? Who will help them? These support activities procurement, they have to deal with the suppliers. They have to make arrangements with the suppliers for just in time. And they will help provide support to the main activities. Is that fine? What is operation? Operation means converting input into output. Converting input into output. In what are our production processes through which we are producing goods? Production process could be either labor intensive or machine intensive, also called automated. What is the best? Machine intensive. Machine intensive. Because through labor, you can run production for 8 hours on machine, you can run your production 24 hours. Through machine, you can achieve more efficiency. Labor cannot produce all the units exactly the same. While machine will produce all the units same. Through labor intensive, there is more wastage. Through machine, even waste can be recycled. If suppose your business operation is labor intensive, is that weakness? If you want to move towards machine intensive, who will provide the support? What kind of machine you require? Who will? Technology will define the machine. Who will buy the machine? Procurement. To run a machine, you require some specialist staff. Who will provide that staff? HR. To buy a machine, you need money, you need some space. Who will provide money or space? Infrastructure. They will provide support to your main activities when they are acting properly. Suppose technological is not to have a research a particular good innovative machine, there is weakness because they are not innovative mind. They are not making good research. So outbound logistic mean how outputs are handled. How outputs are handled. After manufacturing the finished goods, we are storing them into a store before receiving order from the customer. This is outbound logistic. Is there any weakness? Yes, we are storing, we are bearing holding cost, storage cost. We can avoid this again by just-in-time system. And when there is an order, we should produce so that after production, it should go directly to the customer without holding it. Outbound logistics also involves a delivery process, mean how we deliver the goods to the customer. There are two methods of delivery. Either we can deliver goods by owning our own lorry truck, a driver, a helper, or we can deliver through any of the cargo courier company. Which is best method? Depends. If your deliveries are too frequent, then your own lorry van driver is efficient, effective. But if you need to deliver either once, twice in a week, then don't need to make investment in van, lorry, and hire a full-time driver. You can make delivery through any cargo or courier that will be cost efficient. It depends. Suppose before your deliveries were not frequent, you are delivering through a courier, but now you have to make frequent deliveries, so many deliveries in a week. This means you have to change towards your own lorry. Who will buy that lorry? Procurement. Who will provide a driver and helper for the lorry? HR. Who will provide money? Infrastructure. So they will provide help to resolve the issues in our main primary activities. There's another main activity that is called marketing and sales. What is the purpose of marketing? To attract the customers. And to attract the customers, to make effective market, business need to focus on 4 Ps. 4 Ps stands for product, price, place, and promotion. Product, price, place, promotion. If your marketing department is not focusing on these 4 Ps, they are not doing proper marketing. Mean you have to choose the product that you need to market. If suppose your business is selling 50 products, whether you have to market all 50 products, no. You have to choose a product that is according to the current season, according to the current fashion, that is innovative as compared to competitor. Like if you have chosen the wrong product for marketing, customer will not be attractive.
You have to choose the product which is in demand.
While marketing the product, you have to focus on the production process of that product as well. You have to make it a little bit unique with its design, with its features, with its shape, with its packaging, with its color. Because if your product is not attractive, you will not be able to attract the customers through marketing. You have to focus on the price as well. In what price you should set to attract the customer. And this should be according to the customer. Don't see this price will provide us more benefit, more profit. I should charge this price. No. See whether at this price my customer will willing to buy or not. Whether this price is in affordability of customer or not. If customer will not willing to buy at that price, will not afford that price, there will be no profit. Because in marketing, from all aspects, your focus should be on customer. Because you are going to attract the customer. Place where you should market your product near to your house so that you can see your ad on daily basis, your board on daily basis while coming in, going back to home. No, it should be where your customers are. You have to find that area. And then you need to focus on different promotion strategies, how we can promote the product, either through discounts, offers, how we should promote either through banners, through social media, through TV marketing. We have to focus on these things. And if these people, marketing people, are not focusing on these things, this means there are some idiots sitting in the marketing department. Either we need to train them or to replace them. And if we need training or replacement, who will help? HR department. They have to find good marketing people. Because nowadays, marketing is an important factor for business success. Without proper marketing, your business is flop. Whatever you are doing, producing without marketing, you will not be able to attract customers. And marketing and sales mean your sales channel, how you are selling the product to the customer, either online, either through physical outlet. It is most appropriate nowadays. Online customers are moving towards online. If you are doing only physical outlet, no online business, this is your weakness. And this weakness can be overcome by taking help from technology, buying any computers from procurement. To manage online business, you need staff, HR will provide. And to make a department of online, like customer services department, infrastructure, you have to change. Structure of the business. Another part of your main activities is a service. Service mean after sales services that are important. What are these? Installation, training, repairs, warranty, helpfulness, how to use the product. If there is any issue, how to change the product. If you are providing these warranty, training, helpfulness, installation services, this means you are keeping a long-term relationship with the customer. Next time customer want to buy the similar product, he will come to you. Even he will refer others to you because you are not providing the product, you are providing other services as well. If you're not focusing on these things, you are not making a long-term relationship with the customer. Customer will not come to you again if you are not providing warranty, installation, training how to use the product, or helpfulness. So this is also a main activity of the business. And if you are not providing services, this means you have to make a service department, customer services department. And to make that department, you need help from the HR. If they need any equipments, any system, procurement, and where you're gonna provide them sitting space, infrastructure. So a business need to identify some opportunities and threats by performing external analysis. How we can perform external analysis through Pastel factors or Porter 5 forces model, as well as business need to identify their strengths and weaknesses as well through internal analysis. And how we can perform internal analysis through a model called Porter's value chain. And according to Porter value chain, there are some activities inside the business. There are 5 primary activities: inbound logistic, operation, outbound logistic, marketing and sales and services, and 4 support or secondary activities: corporate infrastructure, technology, human resource, and procurement. What is inbound logistic? How inputs are handled. Relating to inputs mean buying of raw material from supplier. Its delivery to the business mean delivery from supplier to business is part of inbound logistic. Delivery from business to customer is a part of outbound logistics. Operations. production methods, how you are converting input into output, either labor intensive or machine intensive. Urban logistics, how you deliver to the customer or managing the produced goods. Marketing, 4 Ps. Sales channel or services, after sales services, warranty, repairs, helpfulness, training, etc. So moving forward, yes, there is some one model left and some MCQs left. We can sum up this chapter. Now we are moving towards another model called SWOT model. This is also called positioning model. Positioning analysis. While doing your business, a business need to analyze its position. Whether our position is strong or weak. How a business can analyze its position? He can analyze its position by using a SWOT analysis, SWOT model. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Strength and weaknesses can be analyzed through analyzing factor inside the business. Strengths, weaknesses are not external, they are internal. If business is having a efficient, skilled, qualified staff, that will be strength. If business is having innovative assets, that will be strength. If business is having enough cash flow, money, that will be strength. If business staff is untrained, weakness. If business machinery is old, weakness. If R&D department is not developing any new things, weakness. Business is short of cash, weakness. Liabilities are more, weakness. Business is suffering losses, weakness. Production process not producing high quality goods, weakness. And to identify opportunity threats, you have to look at external factors. What are high forces? If a high threats, low opportunities. Pastel factors, positive for the business, opportunities negative for the business, threats. Strength, weaknesses inside the business, opportunity threats outside the business. While identify opportunity threats, what you need to look at Pastel and 5 forces, 11 factors. Whether these are in favor of the business or against. Okay. So what is a SWOT analysis? This is an integral part of strategic analysis. SWOT analysis is used to view the internal and external situation that an organization finds itself in. It examines the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of an organization, and it is a vital tool that an organization uses its long-term strategic planning process. Strengths and weaknesses examine what an organization internally does well or badly in internal, while opportunity and threats look at positive and negative factors that might affect on the organization externally, mean Pastel or 5 forces factors. What could be the strength? The things we are doing well, the things we are doing that the competition is not mean major successes. Weakness is the thing we are doing badly. The things we are not doing but should be, mean we are not having innovative technology, we are not providing after sales services. Major failures mean high liabilities, business incurring losses. Opportunities, events are changes in the external environment that can be exploited. Mean government policies in our business, economy is in growth, technology is available. Things likely to go well in the future. Like we are having barrier to entry. There is no substitute. Threats, events are changes in the external environment. We need to protect ourselves from the defend ourselves against. Mean government introducing new laws. Technology is not available in the country. There are so many competitors in the industry. Things likely to go badly in the future. Once identified, management can consider matching strength to opportunities may highlight new areas for organizational development. Mean you have to focus on matching strength with opportunities, mean against which strength we can get what opportunity so that we can make our position stronger. And methods of removing weaknesses are dealing with the threats the organization faces, mean how to remove weaknesses, how to deal with the threats, because if we are not removing weaknesses or dealing with the threats, our position will not be stronger. Chapter finish. Let's discuss some MCQs. Company F makes motor vehicles. The cars are similar to those created by F's rivals, competitors. But F has managed to achieve significant economies of scale by bulk buying its material from main supplier. This has enabled F to sell its car more cheaply than the competitor. What strategy F is adopting? Cost leadership, differentiation, focus, stuck in the middle. Cost leadership, stuck in the middle mean not adopting any of the strategy. Number two, TRE Limited is a company that buys, cleans, and then sells vegetables. It has recently introduced a new automated inventory system that allows management to identify older inventory quickly because vegetables are perishable products. So they have to identify which is older vegetables so that they can sell them on discount offers. This will allow the company to reduce its currently high level of wastage. Which activity within TRE value chain will the business system improves? Is that converting input into output? Production method? Receiving, storing, and handling of raw material. It's inventory management, handling of raw material before sale. So this is inbound logistics. Number three, JHG sells computers. It has a large number of competitors within this market. It has recently cut its prices and is now selling at a price which is significantly below those of its rivals. JHG believes that it will be difficult for any other company to match its new pricing structure. Which quarter 5 forces would this strategy not help to deal with? Bargaining power of supplier. Is there any link of supplier with this? No. Bargaining power of buyer. Yes, if your prices will be lower, customer will not be moving anywhere. Barrier to entry through economies of scale, you have achieved barrier to entry. And competitive rivalry. Obviously, you are dealing with the competition through cost leadership. Oh. So power of supply, nothing to do with this thing. You know, a little bit complicated. Yes. Number 4. Which value chain activities relate to how the firm is organized? For example, whether purchasing is undertaken centrally or decentralized. Infrastructure structure, central or decentralized, organized. This is the definition of infrastructure. Yeah. Number 5, which of the following is a secondary activity in Porter's value chain? Primary inbound logistics, operation, outbound logistics, marketing and sales and services. Okay. Requirement is secondary. When analyzing its strategic position, an organization may use one of several models. We can identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats through SWOT. We can identify opportunity and threats to 5 forces. We can identify opportunities and threats to PESTEL. And we can identify strength weaknesses only through value chain. Mean value chain is used for only strength weaknesses. Pastel and 5 force is both used for opportunity and threats, while SWOT is used for 4 factors. OIU company is undertaking a strategic analysis of its operation. It has discovered government plans to write new legislation. New laws government is going to define. Whether this will create strength, weakness, opportunity, or threat. If government defining new legislation for your business is threat, external factor, legal factor. That would result in OI's closure. I mean, if you don't follow, business will be closed. Which of the strategic models would have identified this issue? Which of the model will identify these issues? Is that relating to value chain, legal factor? Is that relating to 5 forces, legal factor? No. Is that relating to pastel? Yes, as well as SWOT. Because in SWOT, opportunity threats, we should keep in mind pastel 5 forces both. So option 1 and 3.
Yes.
C. That's it. Let's take a break for 20 minutes. After break, we will discuss chapter 10. Let's start chapter 10 of business and technology. Professional ethics in accounting and business. Professional ethics in accounting and business. What does it mean by ethics? Rules and regulations. What else? Rules and regulations. Those are laws, norms. What does it mean by ethics? Ethics and culture. No. Ethics. What else? Values, yes. What else? Nouns. Holy behavior. Except fashion. But especially your behavior. That will be considered right behavior. If your behavior is not acceptable to be considered fashion, we have to show acceptable mean right behavior. We should avoid unacceptable mean wrong behavior. While walking on a street, we should not hit others. This means there are no hard and fast rules. What is right? In that situation, if it's unacceptable, we should avoid it. Because we are going to become a professional. Every associated profession have to show acceptable behavior. Because if you will show wrong behavior, people will not believe you. And this ethics we will not study only here. We will learn ethics in almost 5 to 6 papers of ACCA. We learn ethics in law as well. We will learn ethics in audit 2 papers as well. We will learn ethics in accounting papers as well. So that the ACCA person should be having ethically mean right behavior to maintain the repute of the profession. So let's discuss what actually in this chapter. Business ethics and the importance. Ethics is the system of moral principles that right and wrong. Is considered number of outcome of your behavior. You will not why are you treat others as you wish it. Key values and importance of behavior which is which is called people right based on the consequences of their action or decision here. If the consequence is outcome results of your action will be right, you will consider your behavior will consider this behavior is not acceptable. I shouldn't decide this or perform this. Approaches to ethics mean people decide right wrong behavior based on the consequences, outcome, results. So, for me, mean egoism approach or doesn't mean best public interest. And if you are considering right from the basis if you have made in utilitarianism then egoism. If you are considering is rather than your interest. So through consequential approach, meaning the option you are deciding from outcome should be associated with utilitarianism approach rather than egoism. So this approach states that a decision is right or wrong depending upon the consequences or outcome of the decision. As long as the outcome is right, then the action itself is irrelevant. This approach can be broken down into two further perspective: egoism. The action is morally correct as long as outcome is favorable for the individual making the decision. Best for me, self-interest. Or utilitarianism, the action is considered to be morally correct if the outcome is favorable for the greatest number of people, best for most. But you should always consider best for most rather than best for me, means self-interest. Another approach called a pluralist approach. What is pluralist approach? Your action or decision will be right if you are considering all the stakeholder involved with that action or decision. If your action, your decision is harmful for any of the stakeholder, that will not be ethically right. So this approach involves trying to cater the need of all stakeholders without seriously compromising the interest of any one group. If you are compromising one group, we provide harm to the other group, that will not be ethical right. For example, a mining company may wish to open a new mine in order to access mineral deposits and earn its stakeholder large profit, especially for the investor. But through mining process, there will be a chances of pollution as well. And if your mine is near to residential area, but you are focusing on your mining process, mining operation, not focusing on other residents, whether they are affected through pollution or not. This will not be pluralist approach. So, however, local residents may be unhappy due to pollution caused by the mine. The pluralist approach would be to open the mine, but ensure that enough money is spent to minimize the damage to the local environment. So we have covered two approaches, consequential approach and pluralist approach. There are some other approaches or views on ethics. I mean, people consider right wrong on ways, absolutism views or relativism views. Absolutism is also called dogmatic approach. While relativism is also called pragmatic approach. What is it? Absolutism views is based on dogma. Dogma means single truth. And this is classical approach, mean old approach. While relativism is a modern approach. What is it? Classical or old absolutism views? They says there is a one single truth, mean if anything is right in our society, that will be considered right in every situation. If anything is wrong in one situation, that will be considered wrong in all situations. Like beliefs of Christianity and Islam. They are based on single truth. If everything is right, that is right. If everything is wrong, that is wrong. This is classical old approach called absolutism views, dogmatic approach. Dogma is a Greek word which means single truth. What is the modern views on ethics? Relativism, right, wrong, vary from society to society. If anything is right in one situation, could be wrong in other situation. Like alcohol drinking is wrong in Islamic culture, but is ethically right in Western culture, non-Islamic culture. And we are dealing ethics on relativism, modern approach, mean right, wrong, vary from society to society. If one behavior is acceptable in one situation, it will not be acceptable in other situation. You have to consider whether your behavior in that situation is acceptable, right, or unacceptable, mean wrong. So we have covered two approaches on ethics, consequential approach and pluralist approach. We're considering outcome to decide right wrong. Outcome can be views either through egoism or utilitarianism views. Pluralist approach mean your decision will be ethically right if it is beneficial for all the stakeholders. And there are two views on ethics, relativism, classical approach called, modern approach called pragmatic approach, means right, wrong, vary from society to society. And absolutism, dogmatic approach, dogma, single truth, mean right, wrong, do not vary from society to society. It is a old classical approach. Why business ethics are important, mean why we need to focus on ethics. There are some advantages of ethics for the business as well as for the individual himself. What are the benefits of ethics for the business? Mean why business should behave ethically. Good ethics should be seen as a driver of profitability rather than a burden to the business. In business is behaving ethically, considering best for all stakeholder. Obviously, there will be more stakeholder support. Business will get more profit. An ethical framework is part of good corporate governance and suggests a well-run firm mean company can adopt a good system through ethical policies. Investors are reassured about the company's approach to risk management, mean investors will be having confidence like their investment is risk-free in this business because business is considering right, wrong for all. And employees will be motivated as they operate in an environment of good ethical corporate behavior. Mean they will be motivated, they will be satisfied because business considering right, wrong of all. If an individual behaving ethically, what would be the benefit? Consumer and employee expectation have evolved in recent years. That's why you have to behave ethically. Consumer may choose to purchase ethical items, mean they prefer those businesses who are behaving ethically. Behaving ethically mean if a business has a policy to stop child labor. Because if we will allow child labor, this will be interference in their education. In future, we will not be having educated population. That's why this is the right behavior. We should stop child labor. Obviously, customer will prefer your products more because you are behaving ethical. Employees will not blindly accept orders to act in a manner they personally believe to be unethical. Like if any producer is producing through child labor and you are supporting them, if any producer is having a lot of corruption in their business operations and you are having connection with them, this is not the right behavior from your side. You should not make a relationship with them to realize them like they are not behaving good things, being ethical. What is the difference between profession and professionalism? Profession and professionalism. Whether these two things are same or there is any difference. Professional and professionalism. Both are different. What's the difference?
Professional, a job occupation or something designation. Profession.
Okay, what is professionalism then?
How a professional behave.
Fashion means study of knowledge. Study of any knowledge, acquiring any skill is called profession. Professionalism means application of skill or knowledge. You are at profession stage. After completing your ACCA, when you will become chartered certified accountant, you will work. That will be called professionalism in applying. Currently, you are at profession stage. Either you are at profession stage or professionalism stage, you have to follow some ethical rules in being a student, even being a member, being a professional, you have to follow some ethical rules. You should not show unethical behavior. Otherwise, ACCA body can cancel your registration, even might fine you. What are the rules? We're gonna discuss it all. That you have to follow. Being a ACCA student, member, or professional. So profession, as opposed to other type of occupation, is characterized by the following factors: the mastering of specialized skills during a period of training, mean training period, acquiring skills, governance by a professional organization, mean you are taking knowledge, compliance with ethical codes, mean learning codes, acting in public interest, whether the profession or professionalism, they both are for public interest, not for the interest of a particular person or group of person. The profession or professionalism is for public interest. During being a professional, while working, if you have found any unethical behavior, you have to highlight that. While working as an auditor on a client, During auditing, you have found that your client is involved in money laundering. You have to report that money laundering to any legal body because you have to act in public interest rather than interest of yourself or interest of any other party in your client. It's your duty being a professional. If there is anything against the public, you have to highlight it. And highlighting any misdoing against public interest will be called whistleblowing. During profession, if you have find anything against the public trust, you have to whistleblow, mean highlight that issue to any regulatory body. So profession acting in the public interest, not in personal interest. The process of certification before being allowed to practice is called profession, ACC certificate. Professions are distinguished in part by having a codes of conduct that member their profession are required to follow. This ensures that profession as a whole does not have its reputation damaged by questionable action of some of its individual members. Being a ACCA student member, we have to follow some codes of ethics by the ACCF. There are some codes of ethics that we need to follow. Ethics module is separate thing. Codes of ethics is separate thing. Obviously, by having knowledge of these codes of ethics, you will be able to attempt ethics material. ACCA has defined some codes of ethics that every person who is under ACCA have to follow. What are those codes? We're gonna discuss later on. There is a body in America called IFAC, International Federation of Accountants. All the accountancy body around the world are a member of IFAC. ACCA is a member of IFAC. ICAW is a member of IFAC. Institute of Chartered Accountants in India is a member of IFAC. Institute of Chartered Accountants in Australia, Pakistan, they are member of IFAC. Being a member body of IFAC, ACCA have to follow rules of IFAC. Under IFAC, there is a board called IASB, International Accounting Standard Board, whose role is to issue IAS, IFRS. And if ACCA is a member of IFAC, this means ACCA people have to follow accounting standard. Which one? Those defined by IFAC board, IASB mean IAS, IFRS. There's another board under IFAC called IAASB, International Audit and Assurance Standard Board, whose role is to issue ISAs, International Standard on Auditing. Being ACCA member, in auditing, we have to follow ISAs. In accounting, we have to follow IAS, IFRS because ACCA is a member of IFAC. IFAC is a supranational body who's representing different countries or different bodies. And we have to follow their rules as well. Under IFAC, there is another board called International Ethical Standard Board for Accountant, IESBA. IESBA. IESBA, International Ethical Standard Board for Accountants. This board has defined some codes of ethics. And those codes of ethics adopted by ACCA, also called ACCA codes of ethics. That being associated with ACCA, we need to follow. So what are those codes of ethics? There are 5 codes of ethics that we need to follow. Integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, and professional behavior. Integrity means an accountant auditor should be honest should be straightforward in its dealing. We should not associate ourselves with any false, wrong, or misleading statements or reports. We should always report truly. Accountant auditor should be straightforward, should be honest, and should not involve themselves in producing wrong, false, or misleading statements or reports. Objectivity. Your work main focus should be on the objective of the work. It should not be influenced by any of your personal interest or interest of any other party. Like if you are auditing any client, you should audit the client independently. Your work objective should not be compromised by any of your personal interest or any other party interest. You should focus on your work objective. There shouldn't be any bias. Bias means personalization. Professional competence and due care mean the work you are going to perform. For that, you must have the skills, experience, and knowledge. If you don't have the skills, knowledge, experience, don't accept or perform that work. Otherwise, you will not be performing that work with due care. Not only you should have knowledge, you should update your knowledge as well. Confidentiality means if working on different client, you are aware about client business secrets. You should not disclose those business secrets for your personal advantage or any other party benefits. You should keep client confidential information with yourself. Because if client providing you detailed information about its business, providing you business secrets, so you should maintain client trust on the profession. Because if you are using that information for your personal benefit or disclosing to other party for their benefit, you are breaking client trust on the profession. You have to maintain client trust on the profession. Professional behavior means you have to work according to laws, regulation, according to standards, so that nobody can ask you for anything. If anybody can ask you for anything, you will be justifying if you are working according to laws, regulation, rather than your personal wishes. You should not provide remarks against other professionals. Don't say we are the professional auditor, we do things very carefully, they are not doing things properly. If they are also ACCA member to whom you are allocating to your profession, this is not professional behavior. Integrity, accountant, auditor must be honest, straightforward, must not involve themselves with wrong reports, misleading reports. Objectivity, your work objective should not be compromised with any of the personal advantage or benefit of other advantage. Mean there shouldn't be any bias or conflict of interest. And professional competence and due care, you must have the skill, knowledge, experience for doing the task. Confidentiality, you should avoid breaching. Confidentiality mean you should not disclose client business secrets to others or to use for your personal advantage. And professional behavior, you should work according to law, regulation, and standards so that you can justify all your action in future. These are the 5 codes of ethics that examiner can ask you by stating a statement and ask you what codes of ethics is not followed by the auditor. There is another topic called corporate codes of ethics. These are ACCA codes of ethics that we need to follow. There are some organizations who have defined their own codes of ethics. Like we will stop child labor. We will stop pollution. First, we will reproduce the resources, then we will use it. We will not exploit the labor. We will pay labor 10% above a minimum wage rate. These are the ethical policies that business adopt. We will pay a supplier within 30 days, not more than 30 days, so that we can make care of supplier business as well. Because he is supporting us, we should also support him. These are the ethical policies that business adopt for themselves, make good repute. If business has adopted any of the policies, ethical policies, that will be called corporate codes of ethics. And if you are working in any organization having their own corporate codes of ethics along with ACCA codes of ethics, you have to follow them as well. So business define corporate codes of ethics. Why? To control behavior of their employees or to perform business operations more ethically. To control behavior of their employees or to perform business operation more ethically. While working, there are some threats on our independence. Or sometime during work, during practice, we face some dilemma. Dilemma means undecided situation. Problematic situation where we are not deciding what is right, what is wrong. Mean we are facing some threats on independence. What are those threats? How to manage them? We're gonna learn that. Self-interest threat. There are 5 types of threats on independence. Self-interest threat, self-review threat, advocacy threat, familiarity threat, and intimidation threat. Self-interest, self-review, advocacy, familiarity, and intimidation. Self-interest threat arises if being an auditor or accountant, you are having any personal relation with the client or financial relation with the client. Like the company you are going to audit, you are the shareholder of that company. You are the partner, officer, or employee of that company. Or you are having any business relation with that company. If you are going to audit a company to whom you are officer, employees, partner, or shareholder, will you give opinion against that company? No. This means your independence is compromised. Being a professional, we should not conduct audit of those companies where we are having any personal or financial interest. Otherwise, it will create self-interest threat. Self-review threat arises where you are going to audit of your own performed work. What auditor do? They check the financial statements of the company and give audit opinion on the financial statements, whether financial statements are true or fair or not. Who prepared the financial statements? Company management. If you, being an audit firm, has provided accountancy services, mean you prepare the financial statements. Now you are going to audit the financial statement prepared by you. Whether you will perform detailed procedures? No, because you know these are right. I have prepared. So this will be called self-review threat. If you are going to check any of the work that you have performed, because after checking, you have to give opinion on that. Obviously, your opinion will be biased. You will not check the things in detail because you know I have prepared. So this is called self-review threat. To avoid this, we shouldn't perform review or audit of any work that is performed by us. Advocacy threat. If being an auditor, what's your main role is to express opinion on company financial statement. If you are performing any of the role that is of company management, like company management want to issue more shares and you are dealing with the shareholders. Company need bank loan and you are dealing with the bank. Company is having a tax dispute and you are resolving that dispute with tax authorities. These are role of a company management rather than auditor. If now you are promoting company shares, you are dealing with bank, you are dealing with tax authorities on behalf of company, this means you are promoting the companies. Tomorrow might be you will hesitate to provide opinion against the company. This is also affecting your independence. You should not perform any of the function that is of company management. If you are performing along with audit, that will create advocacy threat. You should avoid it. If your firm is having separate audit department, separate business advisory department, then you can perform, otherwise avoid it. Familiarity threat arises when your close family member is in the company, like accountant, chief auditor, a chief accountant, finance manager, finance director, and you are going to check his work. Will you highlight his mistake? No. Independence will be compromised. You should not perform or check the work of any of your close family member if it's involved in a client. Otherwise, familiarity threat will increase. You should send any other auditor from your firm, not yours. Intimidation threat arise if auditor is pressurized or is under fear of company management or any other party. So we should never ever work under pressure or fear. If there is any pressure or fear, we should resign from the engagement. Otherwise, our integrity will be affected. Might be under pressure, fear. We have to force to sign wrong reports. So self-interest. If you are having personal or financial interest with the client, should avoid. Self-review is you are going to check your own performed work, should avoid. Advocacy, if you are performing client management level function. Familiarity, if your close family member is involved in the company and you are going to check his work, mean through that your work can be compromised. And intimidation, if you are having any pressure or fear, so should not work under pressure or fear, otherwise you will compromise your integrity as well as objectivity. 5 codes of ethics: integrity, objectivity, professional competence and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior. 5 threats on independence: self-interest threat, self-review threat, advocacy threat, familiarity threat, and intimidation threat. How these threats can be reduced or avoided means what are the mitigation to reduce these threats? There are some mitigations that we need to follow. Ethics training for all professional accountant mean all professional accountants ethics training should be done, mean they should be explained what are the codes of ethics they need to follow. Creation of corporate governance requirement mean you need to follow some rules of the bodies. Professional or regulatory monitoring and disciplinary procedures mean if any junior is working, senior should monitor his work. His work should not be compromised. He should make sure he is following codes of ethics. And setting a professional standard mean you need to set some rules that employees need to follow. Some organization even can implement these hotter policies in the organization. These are called 6 values that organization can apply in order to accomplish this. In how to avoid threats, there are 6 values that organization should follow hotter. Hotter stands for honesty, openness, transparency, trust, empowerment, and respect. Honesty means organization should encourage honesty within all levels. Means straightforwardness, avoid wrong reporting. Openness, everything should be open. They should promote open culture. There shouldn't be any secrecy or hidden things. If there is a culture of secrecy or hidden, there are problems because fraud cannot be highlighted. Transparency, everything should be transparent, mean viewable, justifiable to all. Trust, organization should maintain trust of other stakeholders. How you can maintain trust? By showing acceptable behavior. Empowerment mean organization should give authority to lower level people, to managers, to employees, because through authority, you can make people more strong, more ethical, more capable. And respect organization should promote respect for all employees as well as for all the stakeholders, because these are the ethical values that every organization should have to follow. Order, honest, O stands for openness, T transparency, T trust, E empowerment, and T R respect. Dealing with unethical, illegal conduct. If you are facing any issue during work, how to deal with? First, you have to discuss with your senior. Like, I am facing this ethical problem, how to deal with it. If senior cannot reply you properly, you have to discuss with your company management. If management cannot provide you answer properly, then you have to consult with ACCA body. ACCA body can guide you how you can manage these ethical issues. First to your senior. If not resolved, to your board of director management. If still not resolved, then you can ask your professional body like ACCA. Is that fine? Chapter finish. We have learned 4 approaches of ethics: consequential, pluralist, relativism, absolutism. Difference between profession and professionalism. 5 codes of ethics. 5 threats on independence. And 6 ethical values hotter. Let's move towards MCQs. Joe is a manager in company A. He has 20 employees who report to him, and he has been told that he needs to reduce this number by 1. He has been told you need to reduce the employee. You have to make it employee redundant. Joe decided that rather than making a member of staff redundant, he will instead reduce each employee's hour by 1/20th, thereby keeping everyone in job. Why need to remove employee? To reduce pay, hourly pay. So he decided I will not remove the employee. I will reduce hour of each employee so that cost can be reduced. Everybody should stay in the organization. The benefit of the top management will be achieved as well as all the employees. What approach is Joe taking to this decision? Egoism, pluralist, utilitarianism, best for most, or keeping all the stakeholder happy? Keeping all the stakeholder happy. Pluralist. Number 2, which of the following is not a difference between a professional accountant and an unqualified accountant? Professional mean qualified accountant and unqualified, which is not the difference. A professional accountant has a past exam which prove their level of knowledge. Obviously, unqualified haven't passed any of the paper of ACC. So this is the difference. We need to find which is not the difference. A professional accountant has a duty to stay up to date with his or her knowledge. Yeah. Yes. A professional accountant is required to comply with relevant legislation, law, regulation. Yeah. Even unqualified have to follow, not only qualified. Unqualified also have to follow. Not codes of ethics. Legislation means laws. Yeah. Company law. Ethical code is. So this is not the difference. Yeah. What is 4? A professional accountant must comply with ethical codes. Which is for unqualified. You haven't studied codes of ethics, you don't need to follow. So option C. C. Number 3. A worker in the accounts department of a large multinational company. If profits for the company are above a certain level, A will receive a large bonus. Bonus of this, he decide to manipulate some. Because of this, he decide to manipulate some of expense. Obviously, by reducing the expense, profit will be more, artificially increasing the profit and allowing him to get a bonus. Mean he has altered the accounts. That is called window dressing. That window dressing, altering the records. Which are the fundamental principle has a not breached? Is there any issue of confidentiality? No. Professional behavior, he haven't performed according to standard. Integrity, obviously has been associated with wrong reports. Objectivity, yes, due to personal advantage, he has compromised. So B, C, D, he has breached, compromised, which is not compromised, having no link with the situation. Confidentiality. B, number 4. B is an accountant at AFR Limited. He is accountant in a company AFR Limited. A small manufacturing company last year, we estimated that the launch of a new product, the GJH, the name of the product, would boost AFR's profit. Last year, we estimated, he made some calculation, and based on calculation of GJH product, he found that this product will boost company profit. Who made the calculation? B. The board of AFR is currently reviewing the performance of GJH. Whether GJH is making profit, is boosting profit or not. And I've asked B to review the launch of the GJH and evaluate whether it was a success. And they have asked B to review the calculation. Who performed the calculation? B himself. So which ethical threat? Self-review threat. Because he is going to perform review of his own performance. Number 5. K works for a retail company based in country H. She has recently uncovered that her employer is buying in goods from country with poor labor conditions. Unethical act, knowingly. Even though they have assured their customer that all their goods are ethical sourced. They are saying to their customer, we are sourcing everything ethically. But they are buying goods from a country where there are poor labor conditions. Labor is exploited over there. This is not illegal in country H, but unethical. Though there would likely be a significant backlash against the retailer's product if this information were uncovered by the public. If customer knows about this, there will be effect. Which of the following statement is correct? As there are no legal implication of the retail company's action, K should take no action. K should immediately report this to her professional body and ask for guidance. K should approach the board of directors and discuss the issue with them. K should report the ethical breach to the public and press as they would be in the public interest. K should report to the professional body. First your senior, then management, then to body. Board of directors senior is not there, so we should discuss who is the ultimate senior, your management. AB is a large airline. A recent survey of its passenger indicated that 65% had problem. In 65% passengers having problem due to other passengers allowing their children to create noise and disturbance on the aircraft. In those families who are coming with children, they are making noise and creating disturbance. 65% customers are complaining about this. They are single. Families make up around 15% of AB's total passenger. This means 85% are other, and out of those 85, 65% complaining. This means 85% suffering, though complaining 65%. Which of the following course of action would be regarded as a utilitarianism point of view? Best for most. Do nothing as a family right should be protected? No, this is not best for most. Refuse to allow booking for families. Best for most. Provide entertainment for children on board to keep them occupied so they will not make noise. They will make more noise. Children, if they are happy, they make even more noise. And create a separate section on the planes for families with children. No. How you can create separate section in a plane? You can build a separate room? No. So what's the best option? B. B. Best for most. Chapter finish. That's enough for today. Try to cover these two chapters and these MCQs by yourself. Hope to see you in next lecture with something new.
So can you also practice the ACCA standard questions?
Yeah, you can practice by yourself.
Because there are a lot of questions.
Yeah.